Anusu na-egbu nwoke mgbe ndị ya na-agụ ya.
Ewo.
Akwa akụrụ. Katakata abụsịa.
Gbam.
Atakata eno.
Gbam.
Inyere onuno. Onyere ngụ gbaka ebo.
Gbam.
Eme enume na ịkwụrụ gbachim.
Gbam.
Ihe na-etuzi gị ebo onyere ọnwụ nke mbụ. Anwụ n'ụmụ ahịa.
Anwụ n'ụmụ ahịa.
Ebe emechara gị ihe niile mere ndụ gị wee ruo taa, nwezi ihe mmadụ ya emeghe.
Nke a bụ eziokwu.
Ọkụ jee nekọt. Anọkwa ebe a postpone kwakwa ya again.
Gbam. Case adjourned.
A na-eme case adjourned. Na o mere gịnị? Onye na-eme case adjourned, o jidere ya na nwunye ya.
Na o mere gịnị?
A jidere ebe o ji egbe wee zuo ori. Enwekwara ike isi nekwa ihe nwa amadi ya mere. Maka na onye Igbo. Onye ofe mmụọ na-ejidere ya na ya na-azọ nke be ya. Ọkwa ha anya.
Eri oge.
Eri mgbe. Ejide onye nke a. Maka na onye Igbo. Na-ekwu ihe a ndị Igbo gbakọlata na ọnụ ka anyị nyụkọla mmamịrị ọnụ ka ọ gbaa ụfụfụ. Ndị be anyị asị gịnị ka m na-ekwu eri. Mgbe m kwuru Igbo ngwanị ka anyị na ndị nọ Lagos asị m na-ajebe ebe je na-ego mmiri na-ekpochi. Ụfọdụ ndị kpochiri mmiri a wee dem kedu unu ahụ kedu ebe ọ dị unu ego ji agba ike enye nto 10 enye Uwaezuoke ofuke. Aga m ekpegidere onye ahụ ekpere ọ na-aga n'ihu ewere ejeche ndị ofe mmanụ ọrụcha ọma kụtuo onye were Nnamdị maka na onye Igbo na-atụ ya John Joloko were na-egwurido were ya na-azụ draft prosponding na-eme ka gịnị wee mee ka o wee nwere ihe ọzọ anyị achọpụta n'aka ya. Kedu ihe anyị asị na onye o mere mana ihe mma bụ na ochi ihe nwata weliri aka elu aka ya eru ya mana acha ekiche na ọ bụ na onwe ihe nwa amadi ya mere ewee na-akpụgharị ihe a na-akpụgharị ya. Anyị were ihe niile ha mmụọ nọ n'elu n'aka anyị mmụọ dị n'ala n'aka anyị ndị nọ na mmiri n'aka anyị ndị a na-afụ anya n'aka anyị ndị ada afụ anya n'aka anyị ndị nọchiri anya anyị na mmụọ n'aka anyị ekwu onye ndị nọchiri anya anyị na mmadụ n'aka ha. Kịta ndị isi ụkwa apụtara n'otu n'otu ha na ha apụta n'otu n'otu ha ekwetewego ihe a na-ekwu. Ha nụ m ekpere ka a gbasara kọtụ mana sị ndị ụka jere eje ya dịkwara ụnọ na mma mana ndị na-anakpu ka m sị pụta na ọ bụrụ na aka gị dị ya mere na ị chọbeghị ịpụta nke a gbasakwara gị o ji akpa asa ahụ mara onwe ya ma ndị igwe anyị fụrụ a sị m unu jisie na ike.
The marathon this evening. What we are going to, or what we hope to achieve after this very marathon broadcast, is a very comprehensive presentation that will lay bare to the understanding of the entirety of humanity the evil that Fulani Janjaweed is importance for everybody. After this evening, there will be no doubt. What we have cleverly done, or what we intend to do, is that I will post the relevant links and videos on my page on Facebook. So if you are in doubt that Fulani are playing games with all of you, you will go to my page and go through all I'm about to say this evening. They have brought the attack here once again, but it's not going to work with us. They have tried to use incumbent politicians to do their bidding, but they have failed. Listen carefully. Get your pen and your paper. Very, very critical. Today will be a landmark broadcast, and you'll remember it forever and ever. After this program this evening, I would like our people who are well versed in these things to translate what I'm about to say into different languages, that people in other parts of the damnable Zoological Republic of Nigeria may be able to follow what we are saying and what we are doing. I want this very program translated into Hausa, into Yoruba, into TV. If Jukun has a separate language, we're also going to do the same for them, to enable people who are dwelling in rural areas to understand our mission, to understand what IPOB is doing, because there seems to me to be a lot of distortion. Nigerian newspapers do not report the truth. They are not objective. This brown envelope journalism of the very worst kind. What we are about to do this very evening is to outline why we are doing what we are doing. Because they travel to the Janjaweed North, or should I say to the Janjaweed controlled North. They lie to them. Nnamdi Kanu IPOB wants to break up Nigeria, wants to make your life a misery. Tonight we are saying it is a lie. They have been lying to you. They say Nnamdi Kanu is against everybody. He calls you animals, doesn't have regard for you. I am telling you now that your leaders and your elders, they are lying to you. If you're not a Biafran, they are deceiving you. They understand that only through what we are doing will you be set free. As I said a few weeks ago, there are over 200 ethnic minorities, should I say ethnic majorities in the North, because nobody can be a minority in his own home or in the land of his or her ancestors. You cannot be a minority. That is why I don't believe in all this minority gibberish. Listen very carefully to what I have to say to you. IPOB is not against you. I want you to write what I'm saying down. In every part of the world, God Almighty in heaven, in his infinite mercy and wisdom, have always chosen one race to carry out any of his blessings, or should I say undertaking, at any point in history. What am I trying to say? When God wanted to develop Southeast Asia, he used Japan. When Elohim wanted to industrialize the world, he used Britain. It was called the industrial, first the agricultural revolution and then the industrial revolution. When Elohim wanted to educate the world as to the, should I say, niceties or benefits of social media, should I say, the internet and all the rest of it, the virtual world, so to speak, he brought in the US. When Chukwuemeka Biama wanted to make mobile phones available to everybody, he brought Nokia. I think that's in Finland. Mass production. When Elohim wanted the cost of goods and services to be reduced drastically, that poor people living in Africa can afford to have a flat screen television, he brought China for mass production. Now listen to me very carefully. The time has come. God Almighty wants to liberate not just Biafra, not just those who are in the zoo, but the whole of Africa. And you know what God has done? He has chosen Biafra to do it. Because without Japan, today China wouldn't be great. The first roaring economy from that part of the world in Southeast Asia was Japan. Now, South Korea, Taiwan, all the rest of them, everybody had to emulate, to copy. Do you know the reason why? Because when you go begging from Southeast Asia, today you have Malaysia, you have Indonesia, you have Singapore, everybody is doing fantastically well because they had a Japan to look up to. Follow me very carefully. Jealousy, envy, or hatred doesn't solve this very simple conundrum. It's very simple, but I want you to understand it. That is how God works. When God wanted to liberate South Africa, he brought Nelson Mandela, brought Steve Biko, of course. There are other people that will come along. When God wanted to liberate black people, not just in America, but the whole world, to an extent, he went for Martin Luther King Jr. And the person who connived or betrayed Martin Luther King Jr. even slapped him in front of his hotel. I think it was in Memphis. It was a black woman. The fact that you can go to the US today and get a job, the fact that they can go to the US today and, should I say, fly even first class in an aircraft, in an aeroplane, is down to the work that Martin Luther King Jr. did, and also Malcolm X and all the rest of them. Of course, I concede to Prophet Elijah Muhammad. They did a very good job as well. Louis Farrakhan, to an extent, did a very good job. So also did, what's his name again? I've forgotten his name. When it comes back to me, I will tell you. They all did fantastically well. There is where you can go to the US and find a very good job. When it comes to Africa, God Almighty in heaven, in his infinite wisdom and mercy, have chosen Biafra. So Biafra can never ever be against anybody. And let me tell you something. Once Biafra becomes free, everybody becomes free. Those harping on about one Nigeria, or should I say the unsustainability of one Nigeria, are those who are benefiting from it. They are your governors. Remember a few weeks ago, I told you that anytime somebody assumes office in Nigeria, if you're telling them about what would benefit the society or our children unborn, they will tell you not under my watch. Go to what Makinde, the governor of Oyo State, said today. Go and read it. Exactly what I told you a few days ago. That is why the most dangerous person in front of you is a politician in Nigeria. Not the old woman in your village or the tree that is over 2,000 years old. No. The destiny destroyers you have, in fact, in the whole of Africa, are politicians. Because they are evil. They are doing the work of Satan. You may not believe me, but ask yourself this very simple question. Which African country is doing very well? Just please explain to me. Is it South Africa? You want to say South Africa? Go there and see what is happening. Or what has been happening since the white people left leadership. Now is the time for us to be free. I want to reiterate under oath, because I am always under oath 24 hours a day. If the oil and gas from Biafra land is your problem, I swear before God Almighty in heaven, on my honor, my life, and that of my family, that I will distribute oil and gas from Biafra land for free to the entire West African sub-region. For free. Do you know why? So that their economies can grow as well. We need people to buy our goods and our services. Why do you think America gives grants to people all over the world? Why do you think the EU gives grants? Even China gives grants to everybody. Even Australia. Why? Because poor people cannot buy Range Rover. Do you understand it? They need to help you inadvertently to grow your economy so you can have the spending power to buy the goods and services that they produce. It is called common sense. It is not stupidity. I can assure each and every component ethnic group in Nigeria today, this evening, all those of you who are listening, all those of you who are watching and listening, that Biafra will not abandon anybody. We want all of you to be free. You all can remember very clearly what happened between 67 and 70, because every time we talk about our eternal leader, the great Dim Chukwemeka Ojukwu. Why I am doing this program this evening is not to allow